Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Emmanuel, and in today's video we're going to be learning how to create an application load balancer on AWS. If you don't know what an application load balancer is, an application load balancer is nothing more than a service on AWS that has the capacity to receive incoming traffic. In this case, it's going to be HTTP traffic, and in return distribute this traffic across multiple web servers. So that's what we're going to be seeing how to do today. We're going to be seeing how to set up this solution from scratch on AWS. Now, before I dive into my computer right here and I start doing it, there are a couple of things I want you to do for me. First, I want you to subscribe. Please smash that subscribe button, and also I want you to hit the like button so I can keep making videos like this. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. So back in my AWS management console, there are a couple of things I want you to do. First, I want you to go into your AWS management console. If you don't have an AWS account, please go get an AWS account. They have like free accounts out there you can get. So the first step, or the first thing we need to do, is to launch two servers, and not just any type of servers. In this case, we are launching web servers. So let's go and do that. So to launch a server on AWS, we all know that the service that permits us, or that let us launch virtual machines or servers on AWS, is EC2 right here. So I'm just going to go to recently visited services. Then I'll have EC2 right here. If you do not have EC2 right here, or maybe you have a brand new account, you can just go on services, click on compute, then you'll see EC2 right here. Or you can save yourself some time and just type EC2 up there, and you'll be fine. So what I want you to do is click on EC2, and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. I want you to ignore everything you see on this page, and I want you to click on instances. Great. As you can see, I don't have any instance. That's fine. But if it happens that you have some instances, you can use those instances. But remember, you must have at least 2 instances. Minimum should be 2 instances. So I'm just going to launch some instance. So click on launch instances. Then it's going to ask you for an instance name. I'm just going to call mine YouTube. Or I'm just going to call it demo server 1. Demo server 1. You can call yours whatever you want. That depends on you. Then it's going to ask me for an AMI. So this is Amazon's new interface. It's similar to the old interface. I think you can switch back to the old interface if you want to by just clicking here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the new AWS interface. That's fine. So now we have a name for our server, or for our instance, which is demo server 1. Then the next thing it's going to ask us to do is to choose an AMI. So definitely I'm going to stay with the Amazon Linux. Then I'm going to choose the Amazon Linux 2 AMI. That's fine. It's free tier eligible. Everything here is fine. I'm going to stay with T2 Micro. Then it's going to ask us for a key pair. So since we are not going to SSH into this machine, we do not need a key pair. So definitely I'm going to proceed without a key pair, since we're not going to SSH. Then the next thing is going to ask us is network settings. Then by default, it's going to allow SSH traffic, but we want to also allow HTTP traffic right here. It's a rules with blah, 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 blah. This is just ignore this. Then we're also going to allow HTTP traffic from the internet. That's fine. Everything is fine. Then what I want you to do is I want you to click on advanced details. Click on that. Then I want you to scroll down where it says user data right here. I want you to paste a batch script in there. This batch script right here. just copy this bash script, and I want you to paste this in here. Right, so for the bash script, don't worry about it. I'm going to put it in the description below, or I'm going to put a link to where you can find this bash script in the description below. So just check the description below, you'll be fine. Then the next thing is going to ask me, I think we're fine here. I think everything is okay, right? You can choose to launch 2 instances, but we're not going to do that now. So everything is fine. I'm just going to click on launch instances, and I want to see something that says succeed, right? That's nice. That's good news. That's definitely something you want to see. They say successfully initiated launch of instance, which is a good thing. So I'm going to click on view all instances. Then I'm just going to refresh. Yeah, we now have that instance right here, the demo server 1. So we need 2 instances. 1 is not enough, so we need to launch a second instance. So click on launch instances, then call this one demo server 2. Then it's still going to ask for an AMI, so stay with the Amazon Linux tool. That's fine. Everything here is fine. Everything stays as default. Then where it says keeper, proceed without a keeper, even though it says not recommended, but that's fine because we are not going to SSH. We won't SSH into this machine, so there's no need for us to use a keeper. Then I'm going to say here that allow HTTPS and HTTP traffic. That's okay. The traffic should be from anywhere. That's fine. Then on advanced details, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm still going to paste the script. Then I want to change something. Where it says Emmanuel welcome to server 1, I want you to change it to Emmanuel welcome to server 2. You must not use Emmanuel. You can use your own name, right? Just use your own name. Then click on launch instances. Great, that's nice. Everything went cool. Click view instances. Just refresh everything. As you can see, our demo server 1 is running, which is a good thing. So we can just click on that, copy the public IP, paste it in our browser, and hit enter. Great. It says Emmanuel welcome to server 1. That's fine. It means our first server is up and running. So our second server, let's see, yeah, our second server is running. So let's click on that. Let's copy, let's paste. Okay, there's a problem, so I'm still going to, let me see something. So you have to make sure that the 2 servers are up and running. Maybe this second server needs just some time, right? Or maybe I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Okay, usually when I encounter an error like this, what I usually do is go check. Okay, cool, it's back. That's what we want. It says Emmanuel welcome to server 2, which is a good thing. So now we have these 2 servers right here. So I'm just going to kind of like demonstrate EC2. So we have this server right here, server 1. Then we have another server right here, server 2. So what we want to do now is to bring in a load balancer. A load balancer. In this case, it's going to be an application load balancer right here. We're going to bring a load balancer right here, an application load balancer. Then we will then have users right here. So what will happen here is that our user, this guy, we hit this load balancer, right? And in return, this load balancer, we distribute the traffic to, we send this user to either this server, or we send this user to this server right here. So if there are 2 users, let's say user A and user B, our load balancer will send user A to server 1 and we send user B to server 2, right? That's why we're using that load balancer. So let's go and build this solution. So the first thing we need for this solution to come to life is we need something called a target group. So let's go and create a target group. So back in your AWS management console, I want you to go on the left side. I want to scroll down to where it says load balancing. Under load balancing, you will see load balancers and you will see target groups. So click on target groups. As you can see, at the moment, I don't have a target group. That's fine. If you have a target group, that's still fine. Click on create target group. Then it's gonna ask us for some basic configurations. Nothing difficult, nothing complicated, just basic configurations. The first thing it's going to ask us is that we should choose a target type. As you can see, there's so many target types. You have an instance, you have IP addresses, you have Lambda functions, you have application load balancer. So in this case, we're going to stay with instance right here. So that's going to be instances. Then we're going to call this demo instance target. Then we're going to make sure that the protocol is TCP, the port is 80. We're going to leave it on the default VPC. That's fine. I think everything is fine. Just click on next. Then it's going to ask us to register some targets. In this case, we're going to add our 2 servers in that target group. So just select these 2 servers, click on include as pending, then click on create target group. Great. So our target group has been created successfully. So we have some information about our target group right here. The first thing we can see is the name of our target group, which is demo instance target. The second thing we can see is the Amazon resource name of our target group, the port, which is port 80, the protocol, which is TCP, the target type, which is instance, the load balancer not associated. Why? We have not yet associated the load balancer to this target. So what's going to happen now is that once the load balancer receives the traffic, in this case HTTP traffic or HTTPS traffic, it's going to send this traffic to this particular target group. And in this target group, we have those 2 machines. So the traffic will be distributed across these 2 machines. That's why we're creating this target group. Now, the next thing we want to do, once we have our target group, is to create a load balancer. So go back on your left where it says load balancing, you're going to see load balancer. So click on that. Then click on create load balancer. And in this case, the type of load balancer we're going to create is an application load balancer. So as you can see, Amazon has 4 types of load balancers. Amazon has the application load balancer, the network load balancer, and the gateway load balancer. Then they have another one which is called a classic load balancer right here. They don't recommend people to use this because it's from a previous generation, and they're going to be terminating this load balancer on August 15 of 2022. So do not use the classic load balancer. So the type of load balancer we want to use here is the application load balancer. So what we want to do, let me talk a little bit about the application load balancer. The application load balancer, it's a type of load balancer that operates at layer 7 of the OSI model. That means the application layer, and is in charge of receiving and is in charge of receiving HTTP traffic or HTTPS traffic, and in return we distribute this traffic across multiple web servers, right? It's slow. It's a bit slow compared to the network load balancer, but it's very good when you want to do advanced routing and session stickiness. It's extremely good for that. So we're going to choose the application load balancer, click on create. Then we're going to give our load balancer a name. So I'm just going to call this demo application load balancer. Then it's going to be internet facing. Then the IP address type is going to be IP version 4. Then it's going to ask you to do some network mapping. So for the VPC, leave it on a default VPC. Then for the for the availability zones. You can choose 2 or more availability zones for high availability, right? So an availability zone is nothing more than a data center, right? Amazon has this thing called a region. In that region, they have data centers, and they call these data centers availability zones. So I'm going to choose US East 1A. I'm going to choose US East 1B. I'm going to choose US East 1C. And that's because I'm in Northern Virginia. That's my region. So these are the availability zones in that region. So you can choose that. Then the next thing is that it's going to ask you for a security group. So security groups are firewalls that determine what would go into an instance and what can go out of an instance, right? And they are kind of like stateful firewalls that track what goes in and out of an instance. So by default, it's using this security group right here. We don't want that. So we want our own security group. So I'm going to create a security group, and in this case it will be a security group that allows HTTP traffic. Remember, load balancers, they receive HTTP traffic, so the security group must allow HTTP traffic. So I'm just going to click on demo load balancer security group. Then I'm going to say allow HTTP traffic. Everything is fine. Then I'll add an inbound rule. In this case, it will be HTTP, and you can also add HTTPS if you want. Right there. Then the source of the traffic will be from anywhere, and the source here too will be from anywhere. Now you don't need to configure the outbound rule. Why? Because remember I said load balancers, they are security groups, they are stateful firewalls that operate at an instance level. They kind of track what goes into an instance and they track what goes out of an instance, which means they are tracking the state of traffic across their network. So you don't technically, if something is going in, they will automatically know what went in, so they can leave that thing go out. So you don't need to configure the outbound rule right here. So click on create security group. Great. So our security group has been created. So go back to your load balancer, refresh, and look for that security group. Let me take out the default security group. Look for that security group. Demo load balancer, that's a security group right there. That's fine. Then it's going to ask you to add a listener. In this case, the protocol is going to be HTTP. The port will be port 80, and the default action will be forward to that target group. Why am I not seeing our target group right here? So for some reason our target group is not showing right there. So let me see. Yes, see something. So our target group is not showing. What happened to our target group? Let's go and see what happened to our target group. So let's try to create. Let me go to target groups. So I do have my target group right here. I don't know why the demo instance target. Let me see. I can't find it. Okay, so for some reason I'm not seeing that target group display. So I'm not seeing that target group display right here, which is okay. That's fine. I keep refreshing, but it's not displaying. So what I'm going to do is I will create a target group. Then I will simply just instance everything. I'll give it a name. Yeah, I'll call this, just call this second demo target. Great. I'll hit next. Then I'll add these instances on there. I'll hit create target group. Then I'll delete this first target group because I don't know why it didn't come up. Then I'll go back and refresh. Then I should see the second demo target right there. Then everything is fine. Create load balancer. Then it says successfully created load balancer. Click on view load balancer. Then I'm just going to take this up and explain a few things. So you have the name of your load balancer. In this case is the demo ALB. You have the Amazon resource name and you have the DNS name. And this DNS name is what we would use to test our load balancer. Then you have the state of the load balancer. As you can see, the load balancer says provisioning. So our load balancer is not yet active. So we have to wait for the load balancer to be active. So while waiting for this load balancer to be active, I want you to go back to target groups, click on target groups. Then on this target group right here, if you refresh this target group, you're going to see that it says here that load balancer demo LB associated. So our load balancer has been associated with this target group. Now we have to make sure that the instances in this target group are healthy. So click on that. Then there are no instances in our target group. So for some reason, there are no instances in our target group. So great. Now there are some instances in our target group. That's fine. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I think there should be like a problem somewhere. But that's fine. So now we have these two instances in our target group and they are initializing. That's perfect. So you have to you want to make sure that these guys are not unhealthy. You want to make sure that they are either unused, initializing, or they are healthy. Now it says two servers are healthy, which is a good thing. So the next thing you want to do here is we want to go back to that our load balancer. And we want to see the state of our load balancer. So our load balancer here says active. So if I copy this and I paste this on my, and I paste this in here and I hit enter, it takes me to server 1. So it says, Emmanuel, welcome to server 1. I refresh. It takes me to server 2, it takes me to server 1, it takes me to server 2, it takes me to server 1. So what is happening here is that our load balancer is receiving traffic and is sending the traffic to different servers, right? It's sending the traffic to different servers. Now, an important question is why would a load balancer want to do that? Why will you want to use a load balancer? The reason is because if you're using just one server, there may be a time where that server will become overwhelmed, right, with traffic. So you need to bring in a second server. And when you bring in that second server, you need to channel your users to that second server. That's why you're bringing in that load balancer, because that load balancer has the capacity to receive that traffic and in return we distribute that traffic across different servers. So guys, that was how to create an application load balancer on AWS. Thank you guys for watching this video and see you in my next video. Bye.